Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 5 of the ProShot podcast. Tyler Rains along with Cameron Reeser. Cam, it's been a successful year so far, am I right?
Yeah, man, it's been pretty good so far.
Like it's a bad thing. Like, come on, man. It's been good. The fact that Anders Nilsson is no longer a Canuck, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that I didn't see coming, honestly.
He doesn't have to suffer anymore. Oh yeah, so we've got a bunch of things to talk about tonight. So starting off with the trades that have happened over the holiday break between December 28th and today's current date. So starting off, a couple of minor trades along the way. So the Anaheim Ducks acquire defenseman Trevor Murphy from the Arizona Coyotes for Giovanni Fiore. So that was a pretty interesting trade. I think it's just, again, nothing more than an AHL move. When it gets into
pretty
December
meaningless
20th,
trade, if you ask me.
Almost a meaningless trade. But at the same time, if you follow the American Hockey League, or if you're trying to get more chemistry down there for your younger guys, that was a good move. December 29th, the Toronto Maple Leafs, despite goaltender Frederik Andersen going down with an injury, the Leafs make a move to get a goalie from the Florida Panthers. The Leafs acquire Michael Hutchinson in exchange for a 2020 5th-round pick. Or is it just an AHL move?
I'm going to say it right now. It's probably an AHL move, Tyler. I mean, Sparks has been playing very, very good. I think he's just going to keep a spot there, honestly.
Yeah, but as a backup, from a backup's perspective, right now I don't see Kaskisuo being a backup for Sparks.
Well, Anderson could be back at any time. So
it's true.
You never know. Maybe Hutchinson gets the call. Maybe he becomes the backup for now. Yeah.
Because Anderson was only supposed to be out day to day, so either way, it could be something either good or bad. It could strengthen our AHL core, or it could help the NHL while Freddie's out.
Exactly.
The way, I think that was a good move on Toronto's part anyway, and having to give up a 5th-round pick for Hutchinson, who's a solid goalie when he's got good defense in front of him and when he's having a good night.
Yeah, he was actually the starter for the Winnipeg Jets at a time.
That's right. Yes, he was the starter for the Winnipeg Jets at once upon a time before Connor Hellebuck. So that was a good move by the Leafs, I think.
I think it was.
Okay, this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. So the Oilers just got this guy, and I don't think they were pretty. They had to have been pretty disappointed with his play, but at the same time, Chris Weidman wasn't really gonna pan out anyway. The Edmonton Oilers trade Chris Weidman and a 2019 3rd-round pick to the Florida Panthers in exchange for, get this, Alex Petrovic.
I think at that point we'll get to the other trade in a couple seconds here, but I think that trade was to save Chiarelli's job, honestly.
You think there was a job-saving trade?
Yeah, I think it was, because the trade that we're about to announce is just, oh my.
Before we get on to this next one, I just want to point out, Petrovic's a good defenseman. I don't know what Florida was really thinking.
Yeah, why would you
trading
get rid of somebody who's going to be your future top 4? Is he even in their top 4?
I get it. I get it that he's getting a little bit older, but
sorry about that, but we all have our voice cracks.
I know he's getting a little bit older, but at the same time, to me, it doesn't make sense to trade for someone like Chris Weidman unless you're going to shape him into a defenseman that could potentially be top 4.
Yeah.
And that's just, for me, I don't see Weidman being that top 4 defenseman that they need.
No, he wasn't. It didn't work out in Ottawa. Didn't work out in Edmonton. Don't think it's going to work out in Florida. Honestly, he should just go to the AHL.
Well, I think, you know what? Give him a little bit of time and he might be a top 6 like he's supposed to be. I just don't see him a top 4. And that 3rd-round pick could be beneficial.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So who knows?
That could be a really good shot.
Oh, yes. Now comes the blockbuster, we could say, for now. The Edmonton Oilers acquire from the Chicago Blackhawks Brandon Manning, Robin Norrell in exchange for Jason Garrison and Drake Caggiula.
Hey, can I just let me say something right here, all right? I got to say something. Connor McDavid's not going to be very happy about this.
I agree with that, because for those of you who don't remember, Brandon Manning was the one who was responsible for McDavid breaking his clavicle in his first year. So it must be kind of bittersweet over in Edmonton for McDavid and for the rest of them because, dude, you broke my shoulder. And now you're playing on the same team as me.
Oh, man.
Well, apparently what Chiarelli said is they went to McDavid and asked him permission to trade for Brandon Manning before they made the deal. So that was kind of interesting.
Oh, guys, you're in for a great episode. There's going to be a lot of laughs in here.
Oh, I know. This is going to be a pretty good one. So, but Jason Garrison, I kind of knew that he wasn't going to stick around that long. And Drake Caggiula,
why would Chiarelli make this move? Why? I don't get it.
You know what? To me,
it's a terrible move. Drake Caggiula could be a top 6 forward if he really wanted to.
Exactly.
He has that potential. And I don't get Chiarelli. First the freaking Taylor Hall and freaking Adam Larson trade, and then this.
You know what? To me, I'm not gonna lie here. I thought it was a good move on Chicago's part to go out and get someone like Drake Caggiula. They lightened up a little bit on defense, of course, because they're a rebuilding team. At this point, that's pretty obvious because they're not exactly in playoff position, and that's.
Oh no, they're going to be a top 5 pick this year.
They're getting a top 5 pick, but for Jason Garrison to go out and be involved in that trade, that's a clear contract dump. Edmonton didn't want him anymore. He was just kind of rotting on their roster. They didn't need him. Chicago was like, all right, you know what? We'll take his contract. Why not?
Yeah.
But for you to just go out and basically trade straight up Brandon Manning for Drake Caggiula, that was a bad move on Chiarelli's part.
Really bad move.
Because you know what? They lack forward depth already. They might be getting a little bit better.
Chicago big winners on that, Jade.
I agree with that. And like I was saying, so they lack forward depth, the Edmonton Oilers already. They might have got a little bit better on defense, but not much. That's not a major improvement.
Oilers are not going to be good for a long time, I think.
Oh, you know what? The Oilers have got quite a few years left. They've been rebuilding since God knows when, since 2006, pretty much.
Yeah, ever since they lost players like Chris Pronger and Dwayne Rollison, and when Rollison was actually really good, and when he had that phenomenal 2006 playoff run before he got injured. And I think if Rollison did not get injured, I'm going to say this right now, your 2006 Stanley Cup champions would have been the Edmonton Oilers. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
My opinion.
It was, you know what? It could have been a lot heavier than it was, but the Oilers are still looking weak nowadays. Is completely what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't think the Oilers are going to be in playoff position anytime soon. And if they do this season, they'll be lucky to get in on a wild card spot.
Yeah, their goaltending is really lacking.
No, their goaltending is atrocious. Cam Talbot is not a starting goalie.
Koskinen, he's okay, all right? But
Koskinen's not bad.
But they're starting Talbot over
Cam Talbot
over Koskinen. Really?
I don't think that's a good move.
No.
You know what? Honestly, Edmonton, Stuart Skinner is obviously not going to be ready yet.
Stuart Skinner's not going to be ready for another 2 years tops.
Oh, and they're going to need goaltending really quick if they hope to be a contender.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they need to shop. Maybe they're going to start shopping.
Hey, the trade deadline is going to be an interesting place for that. You know what? Honestly,
Stuart
Skinner's going to be a hell of a goalie when he's ready.
I think this player would be perfect to trade for a goalie. Jesse Puljujarvi, the 4th overall pick from 2016. He's not really panning out. Maybe new scenery will be good for him. Maybe a fresh start will be good for him. Maybe trade him for a starting goalie.
Right.
Maybe get a couple picks out of him. I don't know.
Because here's the thing too. The thing is with that too is that look at, for example, Dylan Strome when he got traded to Chicago. He wasn't really producing well enough in Arizona, and they traded him to the Blackhawks, and then he's just all of a sudden, boom, he's finding his game finally because he's got that chemistry with Alex DeBrincat. Now, if you get someone who is strong with their defense and got that team chemistry, or someone else who's on the team, then that might be a keystone too.
And,
But I think just getting solid goaltending is what you need.
And I don't want to say this right now, but I think the goalie that would be perfect right now, and just for short term, I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign him because obviously he's going to be going to free agency this year. But Sergei Bobrovsky.
That would be a good. The thing with signing Bobrovsky, and before we get into the next trade, is actually the goalie trade right after this. So Sergei Bobrovsky, obviously we know the contract situation with Columbus. He doesn't want to go back there. Jarmo Kakalainen has called him in numerous times to discuss contract terms, and he's said no to everything they've offered him. I don't see Sergei Bobrovsky being a Columbus Blue Jacket by July 1st.
Nope.
After July 1st, he's done.
You want to know something? Same as Panarin.
Now, you know what? Could it be a potential option for Edmonton to sign Bobrovsky? If they've got the cap, do it. But with Draisaitl and McDavid, I just don't see that possible. They're sort of like the Leafs. They have a limited amount of cap space, and whatever they have, they need to use wisely.
Yeah.
You know what? To me, it would definitely help them, but I don't think it'll work.
I don't know. Maybe.
Goalie trades. So the next trade that we have happened on January 2nd. So the Ottawa Senators announced that they traded for Anders Nielsen and Darren Archibald from the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for Tom Pyatt, a 2019 6th-round pick, and Mike McKenna. Okay, first thing I'm going to say about this, damn goal.
Yep.
That's the reason why they got rid of him. They're ready to call up Thatcher Demko. I guarantee that.
I think he's ready, but he may not be the starter, but he's probably going to be the backup just for now.
Just for now, just to see how he plays.
And then I think he's going to go into the starting role. But in a couple of years, Demko better watch out. He's going to have a big competition on his hands. Michael DiPietro.
You know what? Right? Yeah, exactly. So right now, Markstrom's going to be the starting goaltender for Vancouver, and if they do end up calling, I don't know for sure if they'll call up Demko, but if they do, he'll be the backup just to break him into the NHL. And if he proves himself worthy, he's stealing that starting role. Now for the future, it's going to be a pretty tough competition between Demko and DiPietro, especially because those two are great, solid goaltenders. They've proven that. It really remains who's going to be number one and who's going to be the team to, who's going to be the team to take the goalie who doesn't pan out. Well, that's what I think. Is here's the thing. There's a lot of backup goalies that just don't end up working out. I think that personally, if Demko and DiPietro, if they're the tandem of the Vancouver Canucks, it's going to be like the Anaheim Ducks a few years ago with Frederik Andersen and John Gibson. They traded Andersen to the Leafs because they knew Gibson was going to be their starter, but look where that got them. So that I would suggest to the Canucks, be very careful with who your goaltending is.
Yeah.
I think that was a wise move on Vancouver's part to trade away Anders Nielsen. And I think that was good.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a good move.
And I think
because Demko is more than ready to play now.
Oh, yeah. I kind of feel bad for Anders Nielsen, though, because he just got new Canucks pads. And now he's going to trade him in for Senators pads.
Oh,
he's going to get it redone.
Oh, no.
So,
Anders, we feel bad for you, buddy.
Anders, if you're listening to this, we hear you. That's rest in peace, Canucks pads. Those are pretty awesome equipment too. So, and then Mike McKenna's gonna obviously have to, he's gonna have to get some new Utica Comets gear coming up. So, Now let's move over a little bit to the Winter Classic. Yes, January 1st, the official significance, the new year. Vancouver fans, this is not your time to shine. You've never done an outdoor game. Boston, Chicago, Notre Dame Stadium, 4-2 Bruins win. What do you think, Cameron? Was that what did you think of the game?
It was a good game. It was very entertaining. But I didn't predict. I thought Halak was going to be in net. Honestly, I thought Halak was going to be in net for the Bruins, but Cam Ward in net for the Hawks when Colin Delia is playing so good.
It was a little bit questionable. To be honest, I didn't think that Cam Ward was going to start that game. And I knew that I had a feeling that Tuukka Rask was going to start that game because they use Halak a lot. And they thought, you know what?
I mean, if I was
maybe it's time to start putting Rask.
I mean, no. If I was the head coach, I would have started Halak.
But I think, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you here. I think Bruce Cassidy made the right call. You know what? I think it was kind of like, it was a prove yourself game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and what I mean by that was, get out there and prove yourself. Because if they're putting you in and you fail them, you let up 3 or 4 goals, chances are you're not going to get another start for a while. You know what? With the Blackhawks, I'm sort of surprised and sort of not that they started Cam Ward. Either way, I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they're going to do for the rest of the season. Obviously, Crawford's not coming back. Or if he does, it's going to be a long time.
It'll be a long time before he recovers from that.
Personally, I feel like Cam Ward is their goalie right now. There's nobody else that they've got. Bring back Scott Foster. Bring back Scott Foster. He can be their starter.
Oh, the accountant.
The legendary Scott Foster.
Gotta love that guy, honestly.
Yeah, so the final score of the Winter Classic in 2019 was 4-2 for the Boston Bruins. Pasternak, Bergeron, Corelli, and Marchand getting the goals for the Bruins. It's Pasternak's 24th of the season. Bergeron's 13th, Marchand's 13th, and Corelli's 4th. Great performance by the Boston Bruins. On the Chicago Blackhawks side, Brandon Perlini gets his 5th of the season, and Dominic Cahoon gets his 5th of the season as well. Wow. That was, I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed that game. And there's not many outdoor games I enjoy nowadays.
Especially because it was in Notre Dame Stadium. Such an iconic stadium.
Oh, it's numerous championships. It's one of the most infamous stadiums in the world.
Exactly.
Oh, their football teams throughout the years have won numerous championships and probably one of the most notorious teams in history.
Exactly. One of the most prestigious schools.
One of the most prestigious schools.
For sports.
Yeah, for sports anyway, because when you think about their football team and their hockey team especially, the amount of talent that's passed through there throughout the years and the amount of greatness that team has achieved, it's ridiculous. And to be playing in that great of a stadium on the first day of the new year and make such a milestone, that's incredible.
That is incredible.
I bet, I'm not gonna lie, I was cheering for the Bruins. I was cheering for the Bruins. I'm glad the Boston.
I know why you were cheering for the Bruins, Tyler. I know why. It's because of those shitty Chicago Blackhawks jerseys.
Right, I'm not gonna lie, I hated those jerseys. I've said that ever since they were released. I did not.
Part of my language, by the way, folks.
I'd say that's quite a theme. We just gotta be honest. You know what I mean? But
I know we gotta be honest, right?
Those jerseys are just absolutely atrocious. Anyways, moving on. That was just
Tyler,
such a fast
Tyler, you know what? Speaking of the Winter Classic, the 2020 Winter Classic place has just been announced, and it'll be at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. What do you think of that, Tyler?
What do I think? Well, I kind of question why there's a Winter Classic in Texas. Because to me, that's I think they're just pulling teams out of a hat now.
Yeah, honestly.
At the same time, part of me says, cool, Dallas is actually going to have an outdoor game.
And they get to also choose their opponents.
That's another thing.
Now, this is interesting. We were talking about this. Me and Tyler were talking about this. And I said the perfect opponent would be Vegas, but maybe another good opponent would be somebody from the Central, and no, not Chicago. Maybe Winnipeg. Winnipeg would be perfect.
You know what I think would be the perfect Winter Classic matchup?
What?
California Golden Seals and the Minnesota North Stars.
You read my mind.
Because, you know what, that was pretty much each team's past. So the Dallas Stars used to be the Minnesota North Stars, obviously, and
split squads. Just have split squads.
The split squad Winter Classic.
The California Golden Seals versus the Minnesota North Stars. Make it happen, Bettman.
That should be the alumni.
Make it happen.
That should be the alumni. The California Golden Seals and the Minnesota North Stars, and then the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. I don't even care.
That should be the real Winter Classic. Make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen, Gary Bettman.
You heard it here first on the ProShot podcast.
Make it happen. So,
heard it here first.
But yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. Apparently, Colorado is doing another stadium series. What the hell?
Oh, come on.
Then St. Louis and the All-Star
of other teams.
You know what? Here's the thing. Here's the problem that I have. So, the new stadium series is coming up in the 2020 season. Well, first off, I want to mention that St. Louis is getting the All-Star game this year. That's not bad. I can't remember the last time that St. Louis had an All-Star game.
And St. Louis, no, and I think you meant, I think you said St. Louis is hosting this year. San Jose is hosting this year. St. Louis is hosting next year. Yeah,
that's what I meant. Next year is St. Louis.
I don't know if you said that, but that's what I heard. So
yeah. So the Heritage Classic in the 1920 season is played between the Winnipeg Jets and the Calgary Flames. That one's going to be an entertaining match to watch.
I think that's going to be a very entertaining game. I'll definitely watch that one.
It's going to be at this point Laine versus Gaudreau, Wheeler versus Giordano. Oh yeah, Scheifele versus Monahan. That's going to be
who's going to be facing Gaudreau?
Is Laine.
Laine versus Gaudreau, yes.
Then Tkachuk versus whoever else. You know what would really actually be pretty entertaining to see?
What?
Calgary and Ottawa doing the Heritage Classic.
Ooh.
The Tkachuk brothers would be facing each other in a game that is pretty much one of the most pressured games in the season.
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be very nice. That would be very nice.
So what we have for the 2020 season is that we've got the Heritage Classic between the Jets and the Flames. We've got the 2020 Winter Classic with Dallas at the Cotton Bowl.
Oh my!
The name just keeps getting me to crack up. We have.
We know why it gets it cracked up, but we cannot mention it here on YouTube. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's like it makes me crack up laughing. So the Colorado Avalanche are hosting the stadium series at the U.S. Air Force Academy, the Falcon Stadium in Colorado.
The Falcon Stadium.
Yeah. And the opponent's yet to be announced. So
yeah.
And then St. Louis is taking the All-Star game, and they've only hosted it twice before, and that was in 1970 and 1998.
Yep.
All-Star weekend in St. Louis. Can't wait to see the jerseys. That's going to be the best part about that weekend is the jersey. No, I'm kidding. Oh. St. Louis fans, don't get mad at me for that. So, all right. You know what, Cameron? You know what time it is?
What time is it, Tyler?
It's junior time.
Oh,
very exciting and disappointing emotional times for the World Junior Tournament this year. Starts off with Boxing Day.
Starts off with the Boxing Day. It was Czech Republic versus Switzerland. And I'm going to say right now, it wasn't a bad game. It had good moments. Had really good moments. And Czech Republic ends up beating Switzerland 2-1. Martin Kaut ends up being the player of the game. Well, I know there's player of the games for both teams, but in my opinion, he was the player of the game. He had 1 goal, 1 assist, and this game actually went to overtime, and Kvasnica of Team Czech Republic scored the winner in overtime, and the only goal for Switzerland was my boy from the Oshawa Generals, Dando Eggenberger, who was the captain of Team Switzerland.
It was the day after Christmas, and Eggenberger scored.
And that goal was assisted by Leuenberger and Khrushchev of the first period. So Switzerland was actually leading. Very surprising there. And then, Tyler, move on to not really an interesting match, but USA and Slovakia. USA ends up winning 2-1 there. So USA starting off very fresh. And then, Tyler, on Boxing Day. Canada, sure, we're stuffing the boxes with it. Sure, filling those pucks with nets. Sure, filling those pucks in the net.
Canada took the pre-tournament and said, "We don't want it. Here's all your goals back."
Here's all your goals back as they beat. Tyler, do I even have to say the score?
Just say, Denmark fans, don't take it personal. We beat you guys 14-0.
14-0. Let's just say Morgan Frost had a hat trick, 2 assists. Comtois had 4 goals. Owen Tippett had 2 goals. Leeson had 2 goals, 2 assists. I don't know how many players had 4 points exactly, but it was a ridiculous amount. There was probably 4 players in the whole game with at least 4 points. And I think that was Glass, Leeson, Comtois, and Frost.
There were 2 players, including Alexi Lafreniere, that didn't get a point. So sad. Your boy didn't get a point.
We don't talk about that, all right? We don't talk about that. And one of my friends out there who's watching this podcast, he's an Islanders fan. Noah Dobson didn't get a point either. So, yeah. We still love our Canadians.
We still love our Canadians. So I remember just going on Twitter that night as soon as I saw that it was 14-0 Canada, or EA Sports tweeted out when it was 11-0 when you play on rookie mode in NHL 19.
That was very funny.
So I remember seeing that, and I was just like, I was thinking the same thing.
And then we go to a kind of an interesting game here, kind of an interesting matchup. Sweden versus Finland. This was actually a pretty interesting matchup. Yeah, the 2 Scandinavians.
Yes, the Swedes and the Finns.
It was a very good, 2 respected hockey nations of Scandinavia. It was very close, but Sweden ends up pulling away with the victory with 2 goals from Las Vegas prospects of first-round pick by Vegas in 2017, Eric Brandstrom. There were 2 goals there, and Finland's goal was scored by Talvati. But it was assisted by Yalonen, and second overall pick for this year, actually, Capo Caco. All right, so then we move on to Russia and Denmark. So obviously Russia won that one for nothing. I'm not going to say the stats. I want to get this as quickly as possible, so we can move on to more topics. All right, so then we move on to Slovakia and Sweden. Sweden ends up winning that game 5-2. Canada, Switzerland. Now, we were watching this game, and we were like, wow, I can't believe Canada really didn't put a beating on them.
It was pretty interesting because I actually thought it was going to be a huge thwomping for Switzerland. But
Canada somehow, some way, did end up pulling the victory 3-2. So there you go. And then
the fact that they were able to just 2-step Canada in every way, that was scary.
Finland, Kazakhstan. Finland ends up winning that 5-0. Not really. That was really a throwaway game, honestly.
That was a miracle.
Even though they didn't get a win.
Kazakhstan. You know what? As much as I can't show any disrespect to Kazakhstan because they actually were a contender this year. They were pretty good. You know what? They tried so hard, but They tried. At least they tried. So hey, fun fact. So Kazakhstan doesn't have a win, nor does Germany in the 2019 World Junior Tournament.
Oh, that was a good one. Okay. All right. So Russia beats Czech Republic 2-1. So Russia goes to, I believe, 2-0 now in the tournament. USA wins 8-2. They go to 2-0. Switzerland beats Denmark 4-0. So Denmark didn't score a goal, I believe, in the whole round robin. They got shut out 4 times in a row. Finland beats
Denmark.
Slovakia 5-1. Canada beats Czech Republic 5-1. That was a pretty good game. Could have been closer, but you know.
That was a good game.
And this game was probably the game of the tournament right here. Sweden versus USA. Sweden was up 4-0. And then in the third period, Ryan Poling just says, screw this. We're coming back. And they did come back. They tied it up at 4.
Ryan Poling.
But in overtime, it was spoiled. So Sweden won that game by a final score of 5-4.
USA fans and Habs fans.
And we move on to the. Yeah.
Let me just add in, Cameron. Habs fans, consider yourself lucky that you got Ryan Poling.
All right. So now here's the other games of the round robin. I'm just gonna go through this real quickly. Russia beat Switzerland 7-4. Really close game. This one wasn't so
totally close.
This one wasn't so close. Slovakia beating Kazakhstan 11-2.
Oh, what are you saying? That's a third period comeback. That's gruesome. That's gruesome.
Czech Republic beating Denmark 4-0. Like I said, didn't score a goal in the whole round robin. Sweden beating Kazakhstan 4-1, and Russia beating Canada 2-1. That really bit.
That was
not really bit. Moving on,
hard.
USA beating Finland 4-1. Kazakhstan not getting relegated. Kazakhstan
just they want to hang in there. They want to hang in there.
Not getting relegated as they win 4-3 over Denmark. And now, Tyler, we move on to the quarterfinals. Was played yesterday. And this was the upset of the whole tournament so far. Switzerland and Sweden. Switzerland wins 2-0. Wow.
That was Switzerland.
Tyler, what do you got to say about
Switzerland.
That?
Oh, Switzerland. What a game. Okay. Yeah, so Switzerland. That was good Lord. 2-0. What a game.
Can't believe they beat Sweden.
And Sweden, that's a tough team to beat. Switzerland, congratulations to you. Tough game.
Honestly. And then the one we don't want to talk about.
Pain in every Canadian fan's eyes.
And the agony. Canada was leading with 50 seconds left to go in the third.
And then they just came back and ripped it.
And then, just let me say this. Finland scored with under 50 seconds remaining in the third.
In overtime.
And that was every single Canadian fan's nightmare. And then in overtime,
failed penalty shot.
One-timer shot. Failed penalty shot. I mean, Comtois, what were you thinking?
It's just too OP.
Make a move. Luka didn't even move.
Then, not only a failed penalty shot.
Tragedy struck as Canada had a wide open net to score and broken stick. And then the other way comes the Finns. And it is shoots it on goal, beats Michael DiPietro. And Finland moves on to the semis as Canada's dreams of winning gold this year are crushed in half. Canada goes home.
Yes.
Canada is out of the tournament.
Nightmares are coming.
USA beat the Czech Republic. No surprise there. Not to mention, this is recorded on. So sorry, we made a mistake there. But Russia and Czech and Slovakia are playing right now. We have no idea what the score is. But after the tournament's done,
actually, it's 3-1 for US.
No. Oh, okay, it was 3-1 US. Okay, sorry. But
and for Russia's just an update. Russia's leading 4-0 over Slovakia right now.
So Russia's, you heard it here first. Russia's up 4-0 over Slovakia right now as we are recording this.
With goals from Denisenko, Starkov, Alexeyev, and Sashnikov. Yeah. Someone will correct me. I know that. Shashkov. There we go.
All right, Tyler. What else do you want? What now?
All right. You know what? I want to jump into the OHL a little bit. Speaking of the juniors, because there has been a lot of trade noise in terms of the Ontario Hockey League in the last few days. So the Sudbury Wolves trade Marshall Frappier to the Kingston Frontenacs in exchange for Kingston's 6th in 2020. That was a little bit of an interesting move. Sudbury's already overpowered. That was really. I think that was just kind of a dump move, but it's good that they got the pick. So here's the interesting one. London and Barrie make a trade. Joey Keon goes to London in exchange for Dalton Duhart, Oshawa's 2020 second round pick, London's 2024 second round pick, and London's 2023 third round pick.
Oh.
Okay. That was an interesting move. I think that Barrie kind of won that trade, just Dalton Duhart and the picks. But Joey Keon's a phenomenal player. He's going to fit right into the London lineup. That was a good move on both teams. That was a great move on both teams. So the next trade that I have, anyways. So as I was saying, Joey Keon's going to fit right into the London Knights roster. Next trade, before I get into a couple of big trades here, or not big, but I mean, there are a couple of really kind of significant trades. So Adam McMaster goes from North Bay to Owen Sound. Mitch Russell gets sent back the other way. Not bad. So,
not bad at all.
Adrian Beraldo from Peterborough to Kingston. Kingston trades a 2020 10th rounder.
Wow.
It's kind of embarrassing. I'm not even going to lie. That's embarrassing.
That is, oh my.
And now, finally, the Flint Firebirds making a move with your Mississauga Steelheads. The Steelheads send over, get this, a 4th round pick in 2024 to the Flint Firebirds, your 2019 Memorial Cup champions, in exchange for CJ Clark. The Flint Firebirds.
Whew.
And then that's not it.
Well, 2019 OHL
screw the OHL championship. They're Memorial Cup champions. So, and then finally, the last trade of the I guess the Christmas trade freeze. It's not the same in the NHL as it is in the OHL. Cody Morgan goes from Windsor to Flint. Flint trades their 2nd in 2020 and their 4th in 2021. I don't know what it is they're exactly trying to do. Maybe they're starting to make themselves into contenders. All right, so, and then finally, Jonathan Schafer, suspended on December 15th for a 6-game suspension, comes back on January 10th. He's not quite back yet, but he will be very soon. So, coming up in the OHL, all I'm going to say is Saginaw beat Flint 9-1, no surprise. Hamilton beat Kingston 7-1, again, no surprise. Owen Sound won 3-2 against the Guelph Storm. That was a little bit surprising. And then coming up tomorrow, Niagara and London, a tale of the tape. North Bay and Oshawa, Peterborough and Mississauga. Great game coming up there. And then we got the Sarnia Sting and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Sudbury Wolves, Windsor Spitfires. Oh, yeah. And then we got the Barrie Colts and the Erie Otters to finish off the night. Great plethora of games coming up in the OHL this weekend. So that leads me into it. So Ontario Hockey League, right below it, Junior A. didn't we get some great things? Cameron, what did we get? What did I get this weekend? The one when I went skating. What did I get this weekend, Cameron? Just one.
You got yourself an interview.
Not just one.
You got yourself some interviews.
6 players from the Grand Falls Rapids.
Got 6 players to interview. So, you know what? We'll get right to that right now.
Well, I just want to bring up first off the Maritime Junior A Hockey League. Great hockey. For those of you who live in the Maritime provinces, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, anywhere around there, great hockey to watch, especially going into the Grand Falls Rapids games, which they're entertaining to watch. These guys are a great group of people. I have to say this. Some of the greatest players that I've seen play the game in a long time.
Yeah.
And some of them have actually been to the QMJHL, which there's a couple of players on this team that have. I did get to talk to some pretty awesome guys, and they told me a little bit what the atmosphere was like.
Brains for the ProShot podcast here with a couple of the Grand Falls Rapids players. Gentlemen, let's get a few player introductions going on. So your name and your numbers.
Adrian Ward, number 21.
Drew Cornick, number 3.
Anthony Matt, number 15.
Mac Mindus. Richard and Nick Hod. Describe the atmosphere of the home games. How does the crowd really influence the way that you play?
Pretty phenomenal. I mean, the crowd gets on our backs, and it's awesome when a good play is made and you hear the crowd make some noise. There's no feeling like it. It's awesome.
Right. Really gets into it. Gets the boys going. I think it's a pretty small community, so everyone gets together and makes the games fun. Yeah.
The crowd, and that's pretty much what gets us going every game, and just like playing for them, and just every game is just a blessing.
So, being the new team in town, because of the Woodstock numbers that were gone before, what's it like kind of being the new expansion team, and is there a lot of pressure associated with winning and how the games go?
Being our first year in the league, we kind of want to make a statement early as to who we are, and kind of put our foot in the door as a contending team that people are going to play against and be like, wow, this is going to be a tough game, right? So we definitely want to have that aspect to our game early.
There's obviously a little bit of pressure coming in to the league, but I think we gotta look past that, and we just gotta play our game. We can't really think about that too much, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. After Edmonton got a new team last year, and they had an outstanding year last year, and for us, we're not like a team like them, but it gives us pressure because we have to do better than them that they did last year, and just we have a lot of pressure, but we just got to get past it.
Personal goals for the next half of the season, the upcoming
play NCAA hockey. So and not only that, but to make the playoffs, team goal. So we kind of just need to do everything we can and get some wins under our belt.
Really, it comes to a team sport, and our personal goals are just doing whatever the team needs to get the W. I'm hoping we can make playoffs. First half we didn't really perform that well, but I think in the second half, if we get some wins, and hopefully we can get into the playoffs.
Yeah, we just have to play better in the second half than we played in the first half, and just believe it as a team, believe it everyone individually, and just work as a team and work hard.
What motivates you guys when you're playing the games home and away? What really motivates you to try your best and to drive that winning spirit?
You're not playing for yourself, you're out there playing for them, so you want to give it everything you got. And if you're getting everything they got, then you can do the same, right? And it just kind of builds up one after the other guy. Yeah.
I think personally for me, my dad always taught me to have a hard work ethic. So I like just giving it my all every single game. Just kind of my morals. I think that if you're kind of dogging it, you shouldn't really be there.
So what's your favorite part about playing for the Grand Falls Rapids?
I have to say the fans, everybody in the community, you go anywhere, everybody knows who you are, right? There's no feeling like it, like small town hockey, and the fans, the support we've had from the community this year is outstanding.
Honestly, I'm Canadian, so just being on the ice, can't ask for much more than that, really. It's fun, and we get really close, and you make relationships that will last for a while, so I think that part of it's really, really fun for me.
All the boys on the team, it's fun to just hang around with them, have fun, have a blast, and just like, but also just like the competitiveness of the league is just unreal, and it's fun to play, and just like the fans too. I love the fans.
Who's your best friend on the team?
I'm here with, I'd say these boys. We've gone to a couple of team meals, and we bond well together, I'd say. But
It's like a brother to me, so it's a tough question. I don't think I can answer that one.
Here with me, probably my stallmate Matt McKay or the goalie Nolan Boyd. Definitely guys I seem to hang around with a lot.
Richard, he's kind of a jokester. I like him. Yeah, he's probably my favorite.
All right. I was asking a little bit earlier. So, Mark, there's a rumor going around that you were kind of a jokester. Do you have any stories from the locker room that just kind of bring that rumor to life?
probably water cup some boys on the team. So, like, I don't know if they would know what that is, but basically, after everyone's gone, he would get a cup and fill it with water, and then put it in their helmet, like underneath their helmet. And then when they come the next day, they're not thinking of anything. They take their helmet out, and then water just spills everywhere. So. Great people. Very nice. Awesome players to watch. Great team in general. Junior A hockey is just, any type of hockey just gets me excited. Cameron, what do you think? Oh, by the way,
right.
So for those of you who were familiar or who were alive when the time that this man was playing in the NHL and he got into a few good scraps, Sandy McCarthy, former NHL veteran, is the head coach of the team. So you might want to give these guys a watch. So, Cameron, do you have anything else you want to add before we end off the episode here?
That's right. No, but Tyler,
Yes, that's right. I almost forgot about that.
I
Cameron,
have to go through my future lines here.
last time
buddy.
you finished off with the Blackhawks, it's time for future lines.
Future lines.
Don't do that again.
All right. Future lights coming out of a theater near you.
That's apparently a movie now.
Yeah, apparently.
Lions, the movie. All right, go ahead.
Here we
Without
go.
further ado, Cameron, let's hear what
All
you
right,
got.
guys. We are back with the future lines. Now, before I get into it, I made a whole hell of a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I forgot players on the Islanders like Bodie Wild, and I forgot players on Minnesota like Kirill Kaprizov. I am so sorry if I offended you, New York Islanders, or Minnesota fans, or if I'm forgetting any prospects or the other teams that I mentioned in the last episode. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But anyways, moving on here. We are going through 2026 through 22. Let's get to it. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, starting off with number 26, the San Jose Sharks. All right, so first line, you're looking at Evander Kane, Logan Couture, Joe Pavelski. Don't know how long Pavelski's going to have left to play, but, you know, yeah.
Hail King Pav.
Anyway, second line here. We've got Ivan Chekovich, Thomas Hertl, and Timo Meier. That's a great top six, in my opinion.
I just want to say this. That's the GOAT line. That's going to be the best line
so?
in the NHL one day. Timo Meier. I was there when Timo Meier got drafted. I was actually downtown Toronto when I heard them call his name. What a great player for the Sharks.
And then
They're
the
definitely
third
going to be a top
line
line.
You got Judas Donskoy and Kevin LeBanc.
I have to play the clip of the finish analysis saying Donskoy's goal in the Stanley Cup final a couple years ago.
That's so true.
I have
And then
to
the
play
fourth line here, you got Suomela, you've got Shimlevsky, and Alex Schoenborn, who's a tough guy, and also somebody that I just mentioned on that fourth line is playing in the World Juniors right now for the U.S., and his name is Sasha Shimlevsky. He's going to be a very good player. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if he's going to get to the peak of his career, but I don't know. All right, so now we're moving on to defense here, Tyler. We've got Mark-Edward Vlasic and Ryan Merkley. What else do I have to say about that? That's just Ryan Merkley.
Ryan
Special
Merkley.
player.
Ryan Merkley
Special
is. Oh, Merkley's just he's amazing. He's an great all around player.
And then here's a line that you're going to like, Tyler. We've got Jake Middleton and Keaton Middleton, the Middleton brothers.
Middleton
There
brothers.
you go. What do you think about that? Do you think they're going to be a good?
Keaton Middleton drafted by the Toronto Maple
Do you
Leafs.
think they're going to be a tandem?
You know, Keaton Middleton and was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Didn't get signed though.
Got signed by the San Jose Sharks.
And now he is playing alongside his
brother, Jacob Middleton, who, by the way, is my favorite San Jose Barracuda. Oh, I think that could be a pretty solid defensive pairing. I don't think it would be a second line pairing, maybe a third line defensive pairing, but I think it would definitely be a thing.
All right. I like your opinion on that. So anyways, and now here we go for the third line. Got Fitzgerald and Roy. Not really something too spectacular. Not really too spectacular, honestly. And then the goaltenders here, you've got the starter of Martin Jones and the backup of Coronar. So maybe Coronar maybe gets that push when Jones's contract's up. We'll just have to see.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you, contracts are a thing. And eventually Martin Jones will be a free agent.
All right, so Tyler, moving on with number 25, the New York Rangers. Now, this team has future, and I think they're going to be a really, really big force.
Definitely have a future.
In the NHL.
I will say this: they definitely do have a future. Do they have the best? No, but they still have really good prospects that are up and coming.
Maybe Panarin goes there because there's been rumors. Maybe Panarin goes there. I don't have him in the future lineups because we don't know where exactly he's going to end up. So
hey, for all we know,
but here's the
for
line.
all we know, he could end up on the Vegas Golden Knights. No,
that's right.
Anything can happen at this point.
So, anyways, so here we go with the first line here, and this is without Panarin, Rangers fans. So stop getting your hopes up here.
Poor Rangers fans, they've had to suffer a long time.
There we go. So you got Kreider, Zibanejad, Zuccarello, always going to be that line probably. Second line here, you got Nemesnikov, Ryan Strome, and Vitaly Kravitsov.
You know what, Cameron? I'm going to be honest here. I don't see Nemesnikov in a Rangers uniform past July 1st. Or sorry, past the trade deadline. Not even July 1st.
Oh, that has to be seen. But Vitaly Kravitsov, though, Rangers fans were panicking, saying, "Why did we take this guy at number 9?" Well, he's actually a very good player. You see,
he's been proving himself.
Proven himself to be a top 10 pick. Absolutely. Do I think he's worth a top 10 pick right now? Absolutely. He's been proving himself, and he's proved all the haters wrong. He's going to be a Ranger for a long time, and good for him.
For Jeff Gordon for drafting him.
Good for him. All right, moving on here to the third line. This is probably going to be one of the best third lines in the league. You've got Philip Hedl, you've got Brett Howden, and you got Elias Anderson. That's going to be a very good line right there, I think.
I like that line. That's eventually going to turn into a first line, but I like the line. I definitely like that line.
I definitely do too.
And if they're not a first line, they'll turn into a definite top 6 line for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're just perfectly centered. I love the fact that those three are together.
Exactly. So here we go, fourth line here. So we've got Jimmy Vesey, Ty Ronning, and Jesper Fast. Now, don't worry, Rangers fans. Now, don't worry, Rangers fans. Ty Ronning will be good, but right now I think he's only worth a fourth liner. Don't worry, he
VRJ
could
line.
be good. I know you guys are probably going to be jumping at my throats right now, but I think he's going to be good. Ty Ronning will be good.
Cameron, that's the VRJ line. That's the next HBK line. Hey, they're all breakout players. They just need to find their game.
That's right. And now moving on to the defense here. So we got Brady Shay and Kevin Schachter. Not the greatest first line defensive pairing, honestly. Shattenkirk's really getting up there. Shay is a good defensive defenseman, but he's definitely not worth being a first line defenseman. That's my opinion on it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion on that. And then your second line here is you've got Pionk, or as I like to call it. If you Canadian fans out there watch Sports Center with Jay and Dan, you will know what I'm about to say. So we've got Pionk and D'Angelo.
Oh yeah,
I'll put that in there, please.
Neil Pionk. Don't get us wrong. We're only having fun with him. That's actually he's a great defenseman from what I've seen. No.
So Pionk and D'Angelo. So that's going to be a good line, I think. Their top four is definitely decent.
It's not the best, but it's not bad.
It's not the best, no. And then on the third line defense, oh, Tyler, I know you're going to love this player that I'm about to say. Former Mississauga Steelhead.
Big Shawnee. Big Raw and Sean Day. That's a solid defensive pairing.
Sean Day and Chris Bigras. And your goaltenders. Now, it could be either one of these guys. And no, Rangers fans, it's not going to be Lundqvist, okay? Lundqvist is going to be gone.
Unfortunately, Henrik Lundqvist.
His time is deteriorating. All right, he's going to be gone by then.
Much respect.
So here's who I think your goalies are going to be. Now, it could be either one of these two. You've got Georgiev, or you've got the player, or you got the goalie that I think is going to be their starter. You've got Georgiev at backup, and you got the starter that I think is going to finally get his opportunity in a couple years. Igor Shesterkin.
That has to be one of the
this goaltender
best last names I've ever heard. I've got to say, there are a lot of epic last names, but he's by far got the best.
Igor Shesterkin. You heard it here first. Igor Shesterkin. That is a great fucking last name. Pardon my language. But whoever... Don't put that in there. Whoever got that last name, whoever was born with that last name and made this man, you're a certified legend.
You're already a Vezina
You
trophy.
are a certified legend of this ProShot podcast.
You should start doing a Legends wall for like all of the people who just the Hall of Names is what we'll call it. Hall of Names. Everyone who's got the epic last name.
We definitely should. So here we go. We're starting, and now we're going to the Arizona Coyotes at number 24. So we've got Keller, Hayden, and Galchenyuk.
That's pretty much
a great first line.
I'm joking.
That's going to be a good first line, in my opinion. Great first line. Oh, sorry, Coyotes.
Sorry, Coyotes fans. Your first line is your only team.
Second line here, you've got Dvorak, Schmaltz, and Steenbergen. Steenbergen could do something. And you've got your third line here, you got Lawson Krause, Derek Stepan, and Christian Fischer. That's pretty much your checking line right there. And then your fourth line here, you've got some guy named Berg. I don't know his first name. Sorry.
Brandenburg, actually. It's Berg.
You actually, I can't. I know it's Burke, but maybe he got it right. I don't know. And then you got Laurent Dauphin, and you got Vinny Hinostroza. Not a great bottom six, that's for sure. This team is. I'm sorry, I really hate to say this, but this team.
I'm not gonna lie.
Does
The Arizona Coyotes, they need to draft a little bit smarter. John Jacob's been doing a good job with what picks he has, but they just need to develop their prospects more and be a little bit better than they were.
Exactly. So then your defense here, you've got OEL and Chikrin. That's a decent first line defensive pairing, in my opinion. Second line here, you've got Joseph and Demers. Not bad. And then on the third line here, you've got Lyubushkin and Graves. And then your goaltenders here.
Okay,
you got Ronta.
Aiden Hill, let me just say this.
And Aiden Hill, I think, is going to be the starter for the future. But for right now,
that's one
Ronta's
word that I have to say about Aiden Hill. He's taken the NHL by storm. What an amazing goalie.
I absolutely agree with you. Wow. Just wow. All right. So we got 2 teams to go here. And we'll get back to Tyler. We've got the New Jersey Devils at number 23. Now, I really did not want to rank this team at number 23, but there's loads of reasons why it's at number 23. All right, so you got your first line, obviously, of Taylor Hall, Nico Hischier, and Kyle Palmieri. Great first line. Probably going to be one of the best in the league. And your second line here, you've got Jesper Bratt, former Mississauga Steelhead, Michael McLeod. And you've got another former Mississauga Steelhead, Nathan Bastian. There you go. And then the third line here, you've got Miles Wood, Pavel Zacha, and Marian Studenik. In your fourth line here, you've got Blake Spears, John Quenneville, and don't know this guy's first name, but his last name is Sharangovich. And then your defense here, probably going to be one of the best defensive tandems in the league. You've got Ty Smith and David Severson. Going to be great.
That's actually pretty solid.
That is very solid, actually.
That's pretty solid.
And your second line here, also very solid. Will Butcher and Steven Santini.
I'll never forget when Will Butcher signed with the Devils. I was like, holy crap, no way.
And then your third line here, you've got Yakovlev and Mirko Mueller. And your goaltender, no, it's not going to be Corey Schneider or Keith Kincaid.
I'm actually so excited for this one.
Mackenzie Blackwood. This kid is absolutely phenomenal. Just recently got his first shutout as well.
The past few games. He got back-to-back shutouts, may I remind you?
Oh, yeah, he did. That's right. Thank you for reminding me, Tyler. Not just his first shutout. The very next game, he gets another shutout. He's unbelievable.
Inconceivable.
You went there.
Yeah. Devils fans,
you got your Marty Brodeur for the future, in my opinion.
He potentially could be.
And then you got Camp Johnson in the back.
All right. Number 1. Or should I say number 20?
Number 22. And I will get to 21 next week, Tyler. So, here we go. We've got the Dallas Stars. Just don't think this team's going anywhere. I just don't think they're going anywhere. Their future is up in the air right now. Exactly.
The future is now.
I just don't see this team going anywhere. That's just my honest opinion, and that it pains me to say that. It really pains me to say that. So here we go. We've got on the first line here, obviously Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, and Alexander Radulov. Best first line in the league. Probably. Second line here, you've got Roop Hintz, Ty Dellandrea, and then Valerina Chushkin. Your third line here, you got Denis Gurianov, Radek Faksa, Devin Shore. In your fourth line here, you've got Robertson. I'm not sure if that's Jacob Robertson, but if it is, it is Jason Robertson. All
Jason
right.
Robertson.
Good. So then you got
Jason
Josh
Robertson.
Dickinson. I don't know if it's Jason Dickinson. No, it's Jason Dickinson. Jason Dickinson. And Adam Mashrin. And then your defense. This is going to be probably the best defensive pairing in the league. Right here. Miro Heiskanen and John Klingberg. Oh my God.
Can be said about that pairing because
And
it's so good.
Heiskanen has
A Swede and a Finn,
All-Star
the
game.
Scandinavian connection.
And which
Oh,
we
yeah.
will get
Which
to,
I will get to in just a
which
few
we will get
minutes.
to in a minute. I'm sorry I just spoiled that for you guys. And then Issa, you got on the second line
Cameron.
here, you got Issa Lindell and Julius Honka. On the third line here, you got Bayreuther and Hansen, goaltenders Ben Bishop, and with the backup, well, I think is going to be the starter when Ben Bishop goes, Colton Point. But there is one goalie that I did forget. I am so sorry, but Colton Point will not be the starter. There is one goalie that I did start. I did forget, and I'm lucky I just thought of him. Jake Ottinger will be the starter for the Dallas Stars. Jake Ottinger will be the starter for the Dallas Stars. So there you go, Dallas Stars at number 21. Tyler, let's talk about the All-Star game.
Right before we get into the All-Star game, I just wanted to wish former NHL player Timo Pulkkinen a happy birthday today. He turns 27 years old. Currently playing in the KHL,
You're going to
by
have
the
a
way.
great career.
Okay. It's been a long time in the making, and I just wanted to let you know. So this is very, very, very upsetting for a lot of people to hear for the Metropolitan Division. Alexander Ovechkin, the former captain of Team Metropolitan, has said he's not going.
So
in his place, we're going to start off with the Eastern Conference.
And
Tyler,
Tyler, you are forgetting
the
something.
Atlantic Division.
Alex Ovechkin has
What's that?
now got to serve a 1-game suspension.
1-game suspension as compensation for not going to the All-Star game. I don't agree with that rule personally, but it's what has to be done. The board of directors made it clear if you want to miss the All-Star game, you serve a 1-game suspension,
right.
which, well, can't argue with that. Getting into the Atlantic Division's roster, first off, I want to say congratulations to our boy Austin Matthews on being the captain. Yes, the captain of Team Atlantic. So congrats, Austin. So here we go. Austin Matthews, the Buffalo Sabres captain Jack Eichel, Nikita Kucherov, David Pastrnak, Steven Stamkos, John Tavares, Thomas Chabot, Keith Yandel, Jimmy Howard, surprisingly, and Carey Price.
Why is Jimmy Howard in the freaking All-Star game?
The same thing, because Jimmy Howard, it could have been Andrei Vasilevsky. But Jimmy Howard? That's kind of questionable, I'm not going to lie. Moving on to the Metropolitan. Interim captain, Sidney Crosby. Totally didn't see that one coming. From the Carolina Hurricanes, Sebastian Aho. Cam Atkinson from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Matt Barzal. Claude Giroux. Taylor Hall. John Carlson. Seth Jones. Braden Holtby. And Henrik Lundqvist.
Be a pretty OP roster.
Moving on to the Central Division. Captain McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon. So we got, hold on. I just want to point something out here, Cameron. The 2 Nova Scotia natives,
Captains.
both captains of their respective teams.
That's right.
McKinnon on the Central Division All-Stars. Obviously McKinnon, Patrick Kane, Ryan O'Reilly, Mikko Rantanen, Mark Scheifele, and Blake Wheeler from the Winnipeg Jets. Miro Heiskanen, Roman Josi, Devin Dubnyk, and Pekka Rinne.
Oh.
Miro Heiskanen, well-deserved.
All deserved.
Well-deserved. And now moving on to the final division. A Pacific Madhouse. Need we even say who the captain is? The best player in hockey today? Connor McDavid, the captain of Team Pacific. And then we have Johnny Gaudreau from the Calgary Flames, Clayton Keller, Joe Pavelski, Elias Pettersson, Brent Burns, Drew Doughty. Eric Carlson, Marc-Andre Fleury, and John Gibson.
Oh, not a bad all-star roster, honestly. I don't think we have anything else left to cover.
Actually, there were a couple of people who, in case of injury,
Yeah.
so in case of injury for the Atlantic Division, Bergeron is slotted in. Jeff Skinner could be a potential option. Dylan Larkin,
Yep.
Alexander Barkov, Shea Weber, Mark Stone, Braden Point, and Morgan Riley.
Please, Morgan Riley.
I was a little bit surprised that Patrick Laine got snubbed.
Yeah, so Laine's still in the vote.
And they didn't make it, but he's a potential if Wheeler or Scheifele gets hurt. Tarasenko, Forsberg, Parise, Sagan, Landeskog, and Taves. Those are all backup potentially. The Metropolitan Division, Teuvo Teravainen, Nick Foligno, Kyle Palmieri, Anders Lee, Matt Zuccarello, Jakub Voracek, Chris Letang, and Nicholas Backstrom. Pacific Division, Ryan Getzlaff, OEL, Mark Giordano, Leon Draisaitl, Anze Kopitar, Logan Couture, Brock Besser, and Jonathan Marchessault.
Besser gets snubbed.
So those were the All-Star rosters.
So is that so? So I don't think we have anything else
That
left
is
to
the
cover.
end of what we had covered. So basically, brief recap. Went over the trades. Went over the Winter Classic. The World Junior upset for Canada and the rest of the World Junior teams. The OHL report, the Grand Falls Rapids interviews, and the All-Star Game roster. The future lies as well.
And the future
So,
ones, so
on behalf of the entire ProShot crew, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 5. As always, this has been your host, Tyler Rains, along with Cameron Reeser. Good night, everybody. Hey guys, Tyler from ProShot here, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys enjoyed episode 5 of the ProShot podcast. It took a little bit longer than I expected to upload, but I'm glad we finally got it finished. I would like to give a special thank you to the Grand Falls Rapids organization for allowing us to conduct the interviews with their players, and once again thank the players for their time and their amazing effort to answer the questions. So guys, good luck with the rest of the season. I hope that the playoffs will come soon enough, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.